He was like he would have lost it, but I'm just saying, okay, the whole I didn't want to lose it. Like I was like, OJ, what do you mean lose it? What does that mean? Yeah. You don't want to lose it. Like, is that what happened that night?
Because to me,
you lose it, OJ?
What I hear when you say that is you didn't want to bust out laughing at all these people who were trying to put you in jail. You evil mother effer. Yeah, dude. He's a bad human being. I still remember when that happened, man. I was in my first year of college, and I had to spend a year in junior college before I went to my 4-year university. And it was predominantly white university or college. It was Middle Georgia junior college. And I remember all the black people being so happy on my floor where my room was at. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, you realize that 2 people are dead? Why are you so happy? You know what I mean? Like, what are we talking about here? And like, even years later, I'm still a dude that's like, raise your hand if you think OJ had nothing to do with it. Like, I can plausibly believe that one OJ didn't chop up 2 human beings and was smart enough to get away with it. But do I believe that OJ didn't know the right people at the time, or from where he was in his life, that he didn't have the right kind of contacts that could set up a hit like that, but with people who could disappear? By all means, yes. Yes. So, yeah, if you think OJ had nothing to do with these people being dead, yeah, you're an idiot.
Dude, I've always thought he was there.
Either way. I'll ride with you. Let's go. You know what I mean? I'll ride with you.
I mean, it's just one of those things where the whole timeline, you know, from what was his name, Kato Kalin, who was staying in the guest house, him bumping up against the house. They found the glove right there where he said he heard bumping up against the house.
Hold on, Rob. If it does not fit, you must have quit.
You must have quit, right? Well, yeah, that too. But then the driver came to pick OJ up. But when he pulled up, he said he saw OJ going across the yard, you know, going through the back door. Then he come out the front door. You know, then he mysteriously got this cut on his hand, but he said that he was on the airplane or at the hotel and got the news that Nicole was dead and squeezed the glass and broke it and cut his hand.
Such a ridiculous human being. You know what's hilarious? What was the name of the cop that they put on trial and they figured out he was a racist? What is his name?
Oh, I can't remember. I know you're talking about. That's why they discredited what he said, because they said he was racist.
Guess what he's doing now? Just throw something out there. What do you think he's doing now to earn money?
Probably one of those cop shows or something.
No, dude. He's like an Uber driver. Guess I found this out the other day. I'm looking at my show, Real Time with Bill Maher, and D.L. Hughley was on there. They were talking about all the stuff in Baltimore and all that kind of stuff, and the OJ stuff came up. And D.L. Hughley was like, hand to God, I swear to y'all that dude, like he has picked me up from the airport at least 5 times.
Mark Furman.
Yes. It was so outstanding. I was like, man, karma is a B. And you know, because D.L. Hughley is who he is. He's pro-black to the death. So he's having so much fun with the fact that this racist white dude has to drive him around. It's like the reverse of driving Miss Daisy, but instead it's an old black man and a younger black dude instead of a whatever. Yeah, I found it to be so hilarious. How much time we got left? We got like 10 minutes. Good. All right. We'll get to the basketball stuff here in the next hour. Yeah, we'll do this here. There was going to be yesterday. There was going to be an episode of Old Man Stop Talking. That was going to happen yesterday. And for some reason, it wasn't even really time-wise, because we had time at the end because we were just basically BSing it.
Yeah.
And I looked at it a couple times, and something just told me to pass it up. And today I found out why. Yesterday, there was this article. It talked about Papa Bowden, as I call him. Bobby Bowden, former head coach of Florida State University's football team. Here it is. The headline says this, Rob. I don't know if you heard the story or you heard the update to the story today. You did? Okay. So, I know how much you love headlines. The headline says, Bobby Bowden, Jameis Winston, an embarrassment to FSU. And I was like, oh, ho, ho. Old man, stop talking, because I know a lot. I used to love Florida State University football program when I was playing ball in high school. You know, I used to follow dudes like Marvin Shaytree Jones and Cliff. What's the boy's name? Clifton Abraham and Tamarick Vanover, Charlie Ward, Cooper. Who else they had? Warwick Dunn, Pooh Bear Williams. All those dudes from the 90s. Yeah, big fat Pooh Bear, the fullback. Yeah, I used to love that team. And what did they used to call Florida State University? What did the FSU stand for back in the day, Rob? Do you remember?
What did FSU stand for?
Right, yeah, the comical or the satirical.
What is that for?
Free
Financial
Shoes.
State. What is that for?
Free Shoes University, because it was one of those things where people felt like at Florida State you got impermissible benefits. You had the situation where Lavernius Cole and then Peter Ward was at Dillard's and getting the hookup from some chick, and Vern got kicked off the team, and Peter Ward was in the middle of a Heisman Trophy. He was up for the Heisman that year, so he only spent 4 games on the shelf. He didn't win the Heisman, obviously, because of that. But not only because of that, because he just didn't. So it was almost one of those things when I initially saw it, I was like, wait a minute. There's a problem here. You're probably the wrong one to be making that statement. But today, like my man Jason Goff likes to say, context is dead in this society. Everything, like people believe they can just remove context. Bobby Bowden, these comments came from the Paul Feinbaum show, who, by the way, is another person that I blame on all of you. Because for whatever reason, ESPN feels like the people who call the Paul Feinbaum show, that they are exemplary of what a college football or college sports fan is in the South. These one tooth, right? These one tooth, naked up under the overall, chewing on the straw, rednecks.
Hi, Paul.
Yeah, those people.
Roll Tide, Paul.
Right. That they're exemplary of what it is to be a sports fan, a college sports fan down here in the South. And he's making a killing off of it. And he's terrible at the gig. He is ridiculous.
This is Willie calling from Troy, Alabama. And I just want to say, Paul, this weekend, it's going to be all about the War Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
Roll down Tide.
Damn right. Son of a gun. Anyway,
that's where that fool came from.
Right.
What's his name? Harvey Lee Updike Jr.
Give his whole name.
Killer.
Okay. So, when you first hear the headline, Jameis Winston's an embarrassment to FSU, it's like, whoa, Papa Bowden's going in on him. Then you read a little bit of what he said. He talked about him being an embarrassment. I don't actually have, for whatever reason, the transcript of it here. But what I do have, I have the actual audio from the show. And here's what it sounds like. It's about a minute long, but take a listen.
Jameis Winston was many people felt like he was an embarrassment to your great university, Florida State. He won the Heisman, won a national championship. He was the number 1 player chosen, but the controversy never seemed to leave him, including on the day he was selected. He's sitting there in Bessemer, Alabama on one of the greatest nights of his life. And, he flashes the crab legs. What are your thoughts about Jameis Winston?
Well, I think it's a consensus among Florida State fans and boosters that he was an embarrassment in a lot of ways to the university. He won a lot of ball games, probably one of the best football players that ever attended Florida State, but he hurt himself off the field. And the good news is he's young enough to get over that. You know it? And but he's got to do that. He just can't make those junior high school decisions that he made when he was in college.
That was the other thing that was put in the headline yesterday. Bobby Bowden says Jameis Winston makes junior high school decisions. Yeah, but see, when you hear it in context, it seems like pretty fair criticism of the kid, because what he said was he embarrassed the university in certain cases, which you did. You get arrested for stealing crab legs. That is an embarrassment. You stand up and say,
and himself.
Yeah, you do the F the blank in the blank thing in the cafeteria. Yeah, that's an embarrassment to the organization. Like, these things are true. You know what I mean? But the way they want to present it, and Paul Feinbaum did this yesterday. It wasn't just a general like conspiracy against James. He purposely didn't release the entire version of the audio. That's terrible.
Right.
That's a man who is, oh my God. This is why I'm always talking about the people in the story, the people who author the stories looking like the people in the stories. Because he decided to make up his own, to take something in which he led the interviewee, down a path by using those words, embarrassment, and talking about the crab legs on draft day. First of all, that was draft day. They ain't had nothing to do with Florida State anymore. He's a professional at that point.
But he did. He led him straight down, and so then basically Bobby Bowden, when he kind of touched on each one of the things that he talked about, then it made it sound like, yeah, sure, Jameis was an embarrassment to the team and to the boosters.
And then finally,
Paul Feinbaum is always looking for it. He always trying to grab the headlines anyway. That's what he does.
Yeah, do the gig, man. Be better at your gig, idiot. That's another piece of evidence in my case against ESPN to turn everyone into fools, into stupid people. And for all y'all who feel like, yeah, man, they got Feinbaum. Yeah, man, he know everything about the SEC. He's an idiot, and he makes his money pandering to other idiots. Yeah, yep. I'm good. And what Bobby Bowden said in the end was true. He's young. That's probably the most perfect part of it.
Plenty of time to make it right.
Right. But Paul Feinbaum wants you to believe that Bobby Bowden hates Jameis Winston. That's the way he wants to paint the picture. Because as soon as I read it, I was like, nah, Bobby Bowden can't be saying that. I know his history there at Florida State.
Right. I mean, because then he mentioned it. He said, yeah, he won a lot of games. He won us the national championship. He just ain't hurt himself like that. He can't make junior high decisions.
That's all true.
Totally taken out of context.
Yeah, that's
totally.
All that stuff is true. Not saying that he's an embarrassment to the league. I mean, to the school. No, what he said is he embarrassed school in certain instances. The same way that if a parent takes their child to the store and that child decides you want to throw a tantrum in the store, well, yeah, your child embarrassed you for that moment, but it's gonna be hard pressed for somebody to get me to believe that you're now totally embarrassed of your child. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, completely. Yeah,
that's ridiculous. It's stupid. And Paul Feinbaum is stupid. Please, ladies and gentlemen, I'm blaming you guys because ESPN is only gonna play the hits. They're gonna play what you guys request. So yep. they not putting this dude on the radio because no one's listening. Yeah, they got this dude as he's the representative of
the SEC.
College.
He's the sole spokesperson,
right, of college sports fandom in the South. Oh my God. Help us all if that's the case. If Bernadette from Auburn is the poster child, and I know none of y'all know who that is, but Rob knows exactly who I'm talking about.
Hello, Bernadette.
Yes. we used to
Coach, I got you some egg salad sandwiches for this weekend.
On one of one of our previous gigs together at one of the local sports talk stations, we ran the Auburn Sports Radio Network.
Tiger Talk.
Right, Tiger Talk. And it was the head coaches at the time. At the time, it was Coach Tuberville. Not Tom Tuberville. What was his name? Anyway,
yeah, Tommy Tuberville.
Coach Tuberville was the coach, I believe. And one of his main supporters every week on the show was Bernadette. And Bernadette, in my mind, was like this big, huge woman with like a gray wig on and like one of those big mammy dresses on with all the flowers on it, like she blows the grandkids' nose in her dress. You know what I mean? Like, it's radio, so I can't see her, but like that's my picture of her. And so she is who I relate to, those callers that call into the Paul Feinbaum show. By the way, you guys might be saying, like, sound like you're talking to me like you listen to the show. I don't. But what happens is when something stupid happens on around the SEC, you know what they do? On ESPN, on SportsCenter, they play callers from that show. And please believe they cherry pick what I would call the worst ones, and they consider them the best ones. And they put them on national television for everyone to see how stupid, quote unquote, we are down here in the South. I'm good.
Yep, stupid.
I'm good.
Hey,
This is the Sports Kings podcast. Big Mike, Rob Calloway here, which we're going to come back in the second hour and get some of this NBA stuff. A lot of stuff to talk about that happened last night as well. Sports Kings Live is our Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Our email is sportskingslive@gmail.com. It's Hump Day, everybody. We'll get you over it.